We're here today to briefly discuss the new FASB regulations surrounding accounting for leases. In February of 2016, the FASB issued Accounting Standards Update 2016-2, also known as Topic 842, which governs the accounting of leases. This represents a dramatic change to the way leases were accounted for previously. Companies that are lessees are going to have to assess their inventory of leases. The operating leases are now all going to have to be recorded on your balance sheet. So you may want to rethink, should I lease, should I buy? Maybe it's better to have an asset versus just leasing an asset. I'm going to have to record the liability anyway. And do they have all the right information? Do they need to implement software or other technology to help them roll up all this information? And also, how is it going to affect their borrowing agreements? You may want to look at your borrowing agreement and say, hey, I have these financial covenants. Am I going to still be in compliance with them once these standards kick in? As a lessee, before you really are able to assess the impact of this and perhaps meet with your advisor, you really need to get a complete handle on your inventory of leases. You need to summarize the terms, understand how far they go out, what your fixed minimum rents are, what your renewal options are, and also you need to assess any lending agreements you have and what kind of financial covenants you have in those lending agreements so that you could perhaps pro forma the treatment of these leases in accordance with these new standards and see if you have a real issue. The lessor's perspective is really going to be getting a handle on how your clients are going to behave going forward, and whether or not the leases are going to be impacted in the way they negotiate leases with you is going to be impacted based upon these standards. A lot of that is going to be dictated on the lessee's behavior. Are they going to say, I'd rather a short-term lease so I can mitigate some of these liabilities? Or perhaps some of the terms of the underlying lease will change, whereby they're not fixed rents, they're more contingent rents, which are not required to be reported on the balance sheets. So as a lessor, I would definitely be concerned about knowing all the ins and outs of this new standard and how it's going to impact your customers, whether you're a lessor of real estate, equipment, software, whatever the case may be.